Okay. Qt tutorial number 2. Qt tutorial number 476 for me. Holy crap, I've done about 30 tutorials in Linux, all of them failed. I went over to Windows, I've just failed like 6 in a row. I hope this one works, yay! But on another note, hello, I'm gonna tell, it feels like I've said all this like 500 times, but really I haven't. Not to you guys. So libs, if you want to include, this is for Qt Creator, if you want to include extra library paths, you go libs plus equals backslash capital L for a path like a C colon, you know, whatever, and backslash lowercase l for an actual library like SDL. Include directory, include path plus equals whatever. These are all the Qt things. You can do OpenGL, XML, whatever Qt has. This is what the executable name's gonna be, and this is the template, which right now we're just got the app template, which looks like this. Application app.execute. Next thing, we're gonna make a little thing in the form. It starts off smaller. So what I do is I came over here and I changed the geometry to 800 by 600, and there's a little thing right by here, and you're gonna have to hit it like that. And then the next thing I came up here and shoot, I wish I could delete these, but what I did is I wrote it like this, and I'll start over here. This is what I did. I want file, but I'm gonna say layout, move, I don't know. So that's pretty much what I did, and then you just click this to add new stuff over there. And then so that's how you do the stuff up there. Now for a push button or anything over on the side, you drag and drop, double click to change the text to like push me, and then right click, go to slot, and then so we're gonna go to slot clicked. So when clicked happens on push button clicked, what do we want to happen? Well, we include, first of all, I included Qt GUI, which includes like everything in the Qt library that is GUI based, and that's everything that we're going to need. So we're going to make a Q dialog, d.exec, which is execute, and that should have popped up, but for some reason right now like the insolence isn't working. I guess I could have done the include Q dialog, so I'm going to include Q file dialog, because we're going to use that in a split second. And now going back here so we can reference this file, this is going to be called action new, and this is going to be called action load, and it's located within the UI, which we have in our right here. It's a UI main window UI user interface. So we're going to go here and we're going to go connect, which is a function in all Q objects, which I'll get into later. C-O-N connect, and we're going to use the second one, but it doesn't matter. So the sender is going to be UI, why can't I do this? UI.action load, because we're going to load a file, or at least I'm going to load a file. I'm going to show you how to load files. The signal is going to be, you use the signal, and then this will show you all the signals within that the first parameters class or whatever, and all the signals. And I'm going to go to triggered. Sorry. Then the receiver is going to be this, because so let's say right now this is what the slot's going to be in, and I'll show you how to make a slot in a second. But let's say you wanted to load from the level and you had a separate level class and it was a Q object, you would have to just add a slot level and you put level right there instead of this. And then what you do is then the member, which is the slot of SLOT slot, and then you find your slot, which ours is load, but it's not created yet. Load. and then I'll create load real quick, and basically load is just going to be right here, private slots, and for some reason I have it twice. Private slot. There is also something called signals, and the only way you can have those is if you define this queue object macro right here. It makes your object a queue object. So I'm going to add a slot void load, and then what am I going to do on load? Well, is what I'm going to do, one sec, void, can't type. So on load is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go queue string file name equals queue file dialog dot get, or colon get open file names, and you get save file names for a save one. And I'm going to make this the parent, and I'm going to make the caption load a file, and then I'm going to do a queue file and I'm going to open file name. But actually you have to call the open parameter even though that's the file name, that's like what file it's going to open, but you still need to call file.open. And you need with the parameters of a QIO device. And you can do write only, read only, and you can use the binary flag thing where you use just the separator like that. So I'm going to use write only. So write only, and I'm going to go file.write hello world file.close. And one sec, I'm gonna just pause Cam Studio and build it. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff going on here. First thing, push me. You push it, and this comes up. Did I explain? I'll explain that in a second. I don't remember if I did. File load will open up our little dialog that we set it as. As what we're going to do is I'm just going to create really quickly a new file, just in case I want to show you later. But I think I'm just going to make you believe me. Okay, I spelled text wrong, but it doesn't matter. And I wrote to that file. So that's pretty much it. And I'm going to go over a couple things. I don't know if I explained this. I've explained it a million times and I forgot if I did in this video, so I'm going to explain it again just in case I did. Execute is different from show. There's also d.show. D.show it'll pop up and go away right away, because show continues to run all other processes behind it, and execute stops everything else that's running from Qt, and it just allows the dialog to keep going until you exit out of it, which is a really nice thing, because then you don't have to do on my map editor. I didn't know that yet, and I did this thing where I dynamically allocated the dialog and deleted it later when I wanted it to close, so it stayed open, but it's a lot easier just to call the execute. Another thing is like there's a ton of things in the Qt library. So let's go to a QList, for example. Include QList. This is probably your best friend. QList is pretty much a vector. Like you can still use the basic STL things, but it's basically a vector with a ton more stuff you can do. Like let's say you want to delete it. I'm gonna make a QList right here. List. I'm gonna make a QList of int, and I'm going to call it T, and we're gonna go T. Why is it red? There. T dot. So append is to add stuff, but you can also do push back, just to be, they want it to be compatible. And if you want it to be a vector, you can do to std list, or if you want it to be a list, or to set, or to vector. To vector dot to std vector. You can do anything you really want to it, and you can do dot from as well. From list, from vector, and you can also do dot at. So like at 4, That's the same thing as using the square brackets, only it's quicker for some reason, they said in the documentation. And you can use the square brackets, and the best part, this is actually really useful. Let's say you're dynamically allocating the memory and you want to delete it. What you can do to delete t.takeAt 3. You would probably do a for loop through it, but the reason you can do this, and it's expected declaration, I don't know why. Well, it's because you're not supposed to do this, because it's not a pointer. But basically the takeAt returns the pointer of the object that's in the list, so you can delete it and take it out of the list in one step. 2 birds with 1 stone. So there's your little QList thing. I'll go over a bunch more stuff in the next tutorials. That's it for this one. Until next time, see ya.